Hello and welcome to the Center for Spiritually Integrated Arts, a Centers for Spiritual Living teaching center. I am Reverend Dr. Raymont Anderson. I am the founder and the spiritual director. Now, as you are sitting there joining us, you may have questions, any number of questions, such as, who am I? How did I get here? Spiritually integrated arts means what exactly? What is a teaching center? Well, what is Centers for Spiritual Living? What is that? What does that even mean? Or New Thought, or religious science, or science of mind and spirit? You may have any number of questions about this specific community, about the parent organization, CSL, our philosophy, our teaching, our liberation theology. Any number of questions. Feel free to send an email. We look forward to connecting more and building our virtual community, our global community. And if you haven't connected yet on social media, feel free to do so. This is your invitation now. Also, did you know that all of our Sunday messages are archived on our YouTube channel? You can watch it anytime. Now, questions about anything, such as becoming a member. What does that mean? What does membership entail? And if you live somewhere far and already belong to a spiritual community, can you be a member of more than one? The simple answer is yes, you can. Just like you can shop at more than one grocery store, you can attend or be a member of more than one gym. We are building beloved community. So you can do both. You can be a member of both. You can be involved with both. That's what being in spiritual community means. So we welcome you. We invite you. We are so appreciative that you have found this community and that you have joined us today. We bless you. We love you. We welcome you. Live long and prosper. Sit back, relax, and enjoy the rest of our Sunday message. Love you. Connect with you soon. Blessings. Namaste and greetings. We continue once again our conversation. The mundane, the sacred, the profane. Oh my. I don't have pearls to clutch, so I shall clutch my prayer beads and my eye of Agamotto. Oh my. Today we are specifically talking about the profane. Humans have been designed for physical connection. Yet this natural design of how we interact with our bodies is often classified as profane. Certain words, certain gestures are considered profane, regardless of the point or the intent behind their usage. And so this month, we are being invited into a space of shifting our, or at least being flexible with our understanding of what is profane. Who determined that this gesture, this is a good gesture, this is okay in certain places in the world? In certain other places of the world, which Arnold Schwarzenegger found out when he was, I think he was running for governor, or he may have already been governor, but he was traveling the world nonetheless. And he went somewhere, and his thing, at that time was thumbs up, thumbs up, thumbs up. Till he got somewhere and someone said, in this country, do not do this, thumbs up, because this gesture in this country is the equivalent of the middle finger in the United States. Who determines that the thumb here, cool, good, fine, the thumb there is the equivalent of the middle finger here, and the middle finger here is the equivalent of the FU? Who determines this? So this month, we are exploring simply being in the idea of what does it mean to be profane? Why is that profane? And am I able to even surrender the idea, the label of? Can I just relinquish the idea that any finger, any gesture, any word or phrase, that it is profane? I may choose not to use it, but not because it's not profane, not because it's simply because I choose to use something else. Let me remove the label and the judgment around a gesture, a certain part of the hand. Let me remove the judgment and the label, because we are not profane beings. We are all divine expressions and incarnations of Source. Period. We are the incarnation of, the individualized expression of God. So this week, let us explore ourselves, our lives, our relationships in an authentic manner without shame. That's a big one, because there is shame around certain sexual or sexuality related things. Going back to the idea of profane, there are many who label polyamory. That's bad. That's wrong. When it comes to sexual intercourse, the only appropriate or sanctioned position is the missionary position. Says who? So this week, authentically, without shame, without guilt, without judgment, we simply live our lives as sacred beings out loud, exactly as we are, out loud, exactly as we are. That doesn't mean we don't evolve. It doesn't mean we don't grow. It doesn't mean we don't shift and change. But we accept, this is where I am. This is who I am. This is what I am. And I live authentically as such, moment by moment, breath by breath. I cannot be a profane being. It's not possible. And speaking of profane, let's talk about profanity, which the root is profane. Those words, those phrases that, ooh, you said a bad word. You said a curse word. You were cussing, right? And the root of this comes from cursing. When someone said, damn you, they were, in essence, damning you to hell, damnation. So it was a curse. Literally, there was the belief that certain words cursed people. And so you were cursing them. And then, as time goes on, cursing became cussing. And nonetheless, cussing, cursing, bad words, bad words, someone else labeled them as such. And so we shake our fingers at children who use bad words because they have no business using such words. What determined that those words are the bad words, that those words are adult words? This is one reason why a lot of people, when teaching children about their body parts, they will refer to their private area, their genitalia, and we use cute little, instead of referring to it as a penis, we'll refer to it as your pee-pee. Now, I understand that part of that is because certain the length of a word, the number of syllables in a word, certain sounds in a word. That's why when babies are growing, they don't immediately pop off with mother. It's mama, dada, pee. It's easier. Understand that. But we oftentimes continue this habituated way of avoiding certain words because to speak those actual words, we feel shame, we feel guilt, we feel dirty, which is another reason why these are referred to as dirty words, dirty language, taboo. Okay, a little, who determined that these taboo words, taboo topics, taboo gestures, etc., who made it, who gave this person or those people the authority to deem them taboo? And why are we still holding on to that concept? What does it benefit us in a life affirming way to hold on to the concept, the paradigm, the consciousness that certain words, gestures, etc., are taboo? Now, once again, just because I remove the label that the middle finger is taboo doesn't mean I'm going to start using the middle finger all the time as my daily greeting. Instead of namaste, no, it doesn't mean that. But what it means is I have sorted through my consciousness enough in order to remove the judgment, the guilt, and the shame around the concept, around the energy of taboo. I remember years ago in Pittsburgh, there was a deaf guy who, due to an accident, had his index finger amputated. So normally in American Sign Language, when you use your index finger and point at yourself, this was the sign for I or me. Now his index finger wasn't there. So he used his middle finger as his index, and he did I or me, you, because the index finger is used for I or me, you, pointing at who you're talking about, the index finger. You point. He, she, him, they, them, it. You point. He didn't have his index finger, so he was pointing using his middle finger. And at first glance, it looked like he's flipping people the bird every time he's pointing. And it was because we were pre-programmed to recognize the middle finger in a particular context. Why was that our mental equivalent? Why was that the handed down mental equivalent? When did that begin? Why do we continue to perpetuate it? Why are they taboo? What makes them so? And are we willing to relinquish that idea? Jen Sincero says most people are living in an illusion based upon someone else's beliefs. Say it again, Jen. Most people are living their lives based upon someone else's beliefs. It's their beliefs that this is profane, their beliefs that this is dirty, their beliefs. And many of us adopt their beliefs as our own without examination, without doing any kind of rooting through and decluttering the consciousness. We simply heard it, read it, learned it, accepted it, perpetuated it. We're invited right here and right now to go through what beliefs are we ready to relinquish, to surrender, to no longer choose to live in the illusion of. Profanity, once again, doesn't mean we're going to start running around using the certain words, but it means we understand that when we hear someone else use it, I have no reason to judge their use of. A lot of younger folks now, it's not just younger folks, but a lot of millennials, and I guess there's zillennials, the ones younger than them, use AF a lot. And there are many older folks, my generation and older, who, oh, and clutch pearl. Oh, I can't believe they're using profanity in spiritual circles. Really? Why? What makes it profane? Who determined that, and why are we continuing it? Who says that it's blasphemous? That it's obscene? Based on what? How is AF ungodly? How is, and when we talk about, as you see on your screen, blasphemous, it means to speak or act in an offensive way to or about God or any other sacred things. Blasphemy. So if I say AF, since we're talking about this, or I say, man, I can't think of a good example right now. Ah, so if someone said, all of this gun fetish business, I just wish it all would just go to hell. Just go to hell in a handbasket. I know a lot of folks don't use that in a handbasket thing, but now I wish it would just go to hell. Is that blasphemous? Now, the tradition is, yes, it's blasphemous because go to hell, the place of Lucifer, Satan, the devil, clearly is anti-God. It's the anti-heaven. So to speak about it or to curse someone there, it's blasphemy. So you refrain from, well, we don't believe in hell. We don't believe in damnation, not the way that. So what makes it profane? What makes it profanity? And once again, doesn't mean we're going to all of a sudden just blah, 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 onslaught of words and blah, 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 onslaught of gestures. Doesn't mean that. It means if there, when was the last time you spoke about a leech or a leprechaun? It's not part of your common everyday vernacular, but it's there. And if there is an appropriate place for that word to come in and be used, my brother-in-law is such a leech. Well, is he really? No, but it's used as, right? We understand what it's being used for. it fills and communicates. And okay, so if, just saying, if this individual chooses to use that word in this context, in this sentence, to communicate something, who am I to judge? Who am I to try to guilt or shame them out of their lexicon just because I don't use it? So once again, we are invited to explore, where are we judging language and gestures and words and calling them dirty? And again, I want to reiterate, this does not mean all of a sudden, just because the guilt, the shame, the judgment is removed, it does not mean we all of a sudden start using. It simply means that we understand it's a word, it's a gesture, and we give it meaning. So what meaning are we choosing to give it? Why are we choosing certain concepts as being unholy? Why are we using certain concepts to say someone or something is irreverent, without honor, without deeming it to be sacred and holy? Because if you hold something with reverence, to revere, which is why ministers are called reverends, because supposedly we are to be held in higher esteem. Reverends are just like everybody else. We are humans. We have foibles. We make mistakes. So to honor me as a reverend, I'm just like you. So the manner in which you honor me, I honor you. Don't honor me simply because of a title. Honor me because I'm human. Honor me because I'm your brother, your sibling. Honor me because I'm an incarnation of God, just like you. Don't honor just because of a word, because of a title. Same thing with all of these other profanity, dirty words. Don't get caught up in the word. We get lost in the words. We get obsessed with the words and the gestures and all the other stuff, as if it is what matters most. Raymond Panikar says there is no sacred or profane. In fact, there is nothing that is not sacred, since all of reality is interrelated. And we're going to revisit that again. All of reality is interrelated. There is no sacred or profane. And yet, there are people who vandalized this work of art. What happened, though? Are you familiar with this work of art? So someone vandalized it more than one time, gave the artist death threats. Now, this is a close-up of it. Do you know what this is? The title of it, The Piss Christ. It's a piece of art, immersion in 1987. It's a photograph by American artist Andreas Serrano. And what it is a photograph that depicts a small plastic crucifix that is submerged in a glass tank in the artist's own urine. So he put his urine in a small tank, glass tank, put a plastic crucifix in it, and photographed it. And people lost their minds. Why? Because this is so profane, so sacrilegious. It is a desecration of Christ to submerge him, his visage on the cross, in pee. in urine. How dare you? People were outraged. But why? Because they have deemed certain things sacred, more sacred than other things. And this hierarchy is what governs their lives based upon what's important, what's not important, what's holy, what's not holy, what's unholy, what's good, what's bad, what's worse. Once again, we are invited to move away. So when you hear about this, read about this, see it, what do you feel the same? Oh, how why would you put Jesus in P? What does it cause to stir up in you? Because let's think about it. That means, well, we identify pee, urine, as waste material. It is your body releasing it. Therefore, it's bad, quote unquote. It's not holy water. Why not? Why would it not be holy water? Just because you don't drink it, you don't drink holy water either. The breath we expel isn't seen as the exhalation is, oh, it's unholy. It's dirty. I mean, it is waste, right? Your body is expelling it. It has brought air in and it releases, but that air that is released serves a purpose in nature. Follow where I'm going? Why do we judge? So once again, Raymond Panikar, there is no sacred or. Didn't we just talk about this last month? The or? The or. Why is it or? Because we remember from last month, we talked about the both and. So let's say there is no or. Everything is sacred. Okay, but is it? Is it? Is this sacred? Is this sacred? What about this? Is that sacred? Is that sacred? Remember, we talked about these, didn't we? You remember this? Is that sacred? Because we talked about what the sacred is. We talk about where the sacred is. We talk about what it means. So let's explore then. It's not either or, it's both and. And when something heinous happens, the sacred is found in our choice to heal, our choice to shift and change, our choice to comfort, to liberate. Okay. So then, how does that play out when we talk about the profane? So Pam Grout says, judge not means more than refraining from judging others. It also means keeping your consciousness open. Because when we judge, we close off. So remix though. Judge not means more, right? That's what she says till we get to Reverend Ray's remix. And in keeping your consciousness open, judge righteously. In other words, rightly. In other words, to discern wisely and compassionately. Judge not means more than refraining from judging others. It also means keeping your consciousness open. And in keeping your consciousness open, you judge righteously, which means you judge rightly, which means you judge with discernment that is wise and compassionate. So when you see the piss Christ, do you discern wisely and compassionately? When someone uses AF, do you discern wisely and compassionately? When someone uses the middle finger in traffic, do you discern wisely and compassionately? Asking, what is going on with that person? Because apparently there is something that they believe, and that belief is now because they're angry, they're incensed, and that belief, that emotion, that feeling, they are expressing it by way of a gesture. That gesture being the middle finger, which means what? What is it that they are communicating to me by flipping me off? And in that communication, do I choose to receive it? Do I choose to accept their middle finger as an accepted form of communication? Meaning someone texts me, oh, wait a minute, hold on a second. What? Delete and block. Or do I, oh, how dare you? I can't believe you. You know what I need to do? I need to give them back exactly what they just gave me. And so what do? You flip me, I flip you. We're flipping each other off today. Oh my, isn't that how wars begin? You did it to me, I did it back. Oh, but now you have to get even so now you do it back even more. Before it was one hand. Now you give me both. So I give you both. And then we got to up the game. So not only does it then go from the middle finger, it goes to that gesture where it's like ah, and then that goes to the ah, and then that. Why, people? Why? Because we've accepted and we've perpetuated that a certain gesture means something insulting. We buy into it and we perpetuate it and we play the game of that's a good gesture. That gesture's oh cool. Oh, you no, you blew a kiss to me. Oh, but very easily this could have been kiss my. Very easily could have been that 200 years ago in 15 BC ago. It very easily could have, but it doesn't today. It's a way of sending love, but the middle finger isn't. This means good job, bravo. I disapprove, bad job. Why? So we remove the judgment and we explore what is it about that makes it profane? What is it about that makes it dirty? What is it about that makes it unacceptable? In the same way, anybody know what this is? Feel free if you want to type into the chat if you know what it is. Psilocybin, which at one time it's a mushroom until such time as federal law banned it, 1968, and for years it remained unacceptable. It was a drug that had no medical value until the ban loosened. And many places, including Australia and many places in the United States, began studying it and found medicinal qualities within psilocybin or magic mushrooms. They noticed that it could be used to treat all kinds of things, PTSD, medical resistant depression, and all kinds of things. But those who deemed it and banned it, those who deemed it useless, pointless,
harmful. Why did they do so? Well, having watched documentaries regarding it and read stuff regarding it, they were afraid. We do so much. We create so much. Oppenheimer created the bomb out of fear. He and all of the cohorts, out of fear, we fear that the Germans will get it first. So we have to develop this atrocious, destructive device before they do. Because if they get it first, they'll strike first. And if they strike first, they win. And then came in the power brokers who were like, no, we need to be more powerful than them. So between fear and being addicted to pseudo power, there's a lot of stuff that we do that is not life affirming. So where are you? Where are we invited to be more open at the top and open at the bottom, balancing yin and yang together so that we are able to live more effectively in our individual lives and collectively? And to be able to do this means we no longer feel the need to judge, not the way we have been, to get guilt or shame. It serves no purpose. Dr. Holmes says, all of life is bound together by one common law of love, and love is the self-givingness of spirit. All of life is bound together. So whether it's the middle finger or the thumb, it's bound together by one common, because spirit is incarnating as these bodies. And the thumb is connected to the hand, bones and tendons and muscles, which are connected to the middle finger. So this is a demonstration that though the thumb is a thumb, the middle finger is a middle finger, and yet they are still connected. And I can't see into my hand, but there are things within the hand that connect them. And there are things that if I were to cut it open, I can see, but there are things that are even smaller that are imperceptible to the naked eye that still demonstrate the connection, the connectivity, and the oneness of the hand, which demonstrate the oneness of spirit. We're all connected. So how do we demonstrate more love towards one another? Forgiveness, compassionate and wise discernment. How are we invited into a greater, more expansive way of identifying the sacred? And when there is the desecrated, how do we reconsecrate it? Reconsecrate a gesture, reconsecrate a word, reconsecrate. And even if that is only within our own beings, where someone gestures something to us that we, it's bad. It's a not good gesture. They flipped us off. But because I have reconsecrated, I am no longer offended by the gesture. That's their issue. I'm going to let them hold what they are holding because I can't change them. But I no longer need to receive that insult. I no longer need to be insulted by those words or whatever it is, that gesture. So whatever someone says, you're stupid. Based on what? You don't know me. You don't have the right to affirm or declare that about me. I don't accept it. Now, you can say whatever you're going to say, but because I don't accept it, I have reconsecrated my mind, my heart, my life to whereby those words those seeds have no soil in which to land to grow into whatever those seeds grow into. But it means we shift the paradigm regarding what is profane. Dr. Holmes says, spirit is all life, all truth, all love, all being, cause and effect. God is all there is. It's all there is. And as Neil deGrasse Tyson says, we are stardust brought to life, then empowered by the universe to figure out this thing called life. And we have only just begun. We are all connected to each other biologically, to the earth chemically, to the rest of the universe atomically, to the isness and allness divinely. Are you ready and willing to live that truth? To live knowing that we are all sacred, holy, divinely magnificent beings, thereby releasing the judgment of this, that, or, and whatever, by tilling the soil of our minds so that those particular words, phrases, gestures, etc., have no place to grow, so that we can move through our lives and change policies and practices so that there are no more mass shootings, so that there is no more war, so that there is no more domestic violence, child abuse, sex trafficking, that we are able to evolve beyond that. The only way we can do that is knowing our oneness, which means no matter what your political affiliation, because you know you are one, you are able to come together and have a conversation. There's a scene in this season of Loki where two women in the TVA, one of them says to the other one, because I'm not giving you any spoilers, she basically says, we may not see eye to eye on a whole bunch of things, and we don't have to, but we believe in this. So let's work together for that. That's seeing oneness, recognizing the connectivity and the commonality of our humanity to be able to move and work together beyond party lines. But it means releasing certain addictions, certain consciousness paradigms, including the profane. Dr. Holmes says, human beings are one with everything physical in the physical world, one with the soul of the universe in the subjective world, and one with the Spirit of God in the conscious world. It's very similar to what Neil said. We are all one with everything. And because of these various levels, the various multi-dimensional ways that we show up, all of them demonstrate so atomically connected, biologically connected, chemically connected, spiritually connected, psychologically connected, socially connected. We're connected. There's only God, and we can't disconnect from it. The consciousness of colonization would have us believe that anything that is not godly, which is based upon a specific definition of God, therefore is profane and is evil and is to be avoided at all costs. Danger, Will Robinson, danger. We, however, are invited to break free from that consciousness so that we can effectively express our divine magnificence, our sacredness in all and every aspect of our lives. This is how we heal the addiction to racism, any gun fetish, warmongering, sexism, homomisia, transmisia, Islamomisia, anti-Semitism, etc. So today is a great day for us to truly have a new thought, a new paradigm, and a new consciousness regarding this. This week's declaration, our affirmation, I will say it first. And if you are in alignment with it, say it with me on our second go round. I am a holy and sacred being, just the way I am. Together, I am a holy and sacred being, just the way I am. And so you are, and so it is. This week's Thursday night questions, or your own personal journal questions: what 3 to 4 things have you understood to be profane? How can we reframe our understanding of what it means to be profane and thus align more with the sacred? Number 3, if we expand our understanding of what it means to be profane, are we inviting new subcultures into our communities? If we let people curse, are we going to get bikers into our center? Are we going to get people who have tattoos into our center? If we let people... What does that even mean? Subcultures. Sub meaning below, beneath. There's the mainstream culture, and then there are the subcultures. Bam, bam, bam. Not even going to go into that right now. And number 4, how can we express ourselves more authentically and live our truth as sacred beings, out loud and proud? Breathe as we enter into that space of prayer, recognizing the isness and allness of God. There is infinitely only one. And that one source, that one power, that one presence is presencing itself right here and right now, in, through, and as each of us. There is only what it is. And so we breathe, recognizing that this breath is it breathing itself. And that this thing called oxygen also itself. So it is participating in all kinds of ways, all levels, everything. Divine orchestration of. Because how many things in my body must participate together simply to inhale a breath? Just the process of inhalation. How many things in my body how many synapses must fire? How many organs are involved? And that's just my inhalation. How else? Now it's your inhalation and the other 1.19 trillion people and animals, plants, are also participating in a form of respiration. And that which God is doing it all, through it all, as itself. And not just that. Because once the breath comes in, then the body takes the oxygenated breath and nourishes the blood, which nourishes the body, which, and on, and on, and on. There is only one. And so we breathe, recognizing this infinite oneness exactly as we are, sacred and divine. And in being sacred and divine, there is no space for the profane. So we release the idea, we release the consciousness, we reconsecrate our own lives by acknowledging we are sacred and we are holy right here and right now, just as we are. And this applies to all of us. Even that motorist who is flipping the finger because they're angry, that's based on their consciousness. So we send a healing prayer that they may too reconsecrate their consciousness and their lives, that they find peace and harmony within their own being, within their own lives. We set ourselves free that we may be the embodiment that just being present as that shows others, inspires others to also be free. The law says yes. That means it's done and it's answered. And so together we say, and so it is. Much love, much appreciation, blessings. Have an amazing rest of your day. And if we're going over to Zoom, see you momentarily.